Hi, my name is Melody Prophet, and we will be going over egoism and utilitarianism today. First, let's talk about egoism. Egoism is an ethical theory in which the standard of right and wrong conduct is based on self-interest. A person who follows this ethical theory is called an egoist. This pursues self-interest despite of the consequences of others. And when following this theory as an egoist, you face more consequences in the long run due to only having interest for yourself and not of others or your customers when you're thinking about the business aspect of egoism. Now let's talk about utilitarianism. Utilitarianism is an ethical theory that holds an action that is right if it produces or if it tends to produce the greatest number of good for the greatest number of people affected by the action in this decision. This is based on the effective consequences of people and the organization. So when you think of utilitarianism, they are thinking for the well-being of others. And as a business standpoint, you're thinking of your employees and your consumers. Are they satisfied? Are they happy as well? Now, let's talk about the differences between egoism and utilitarianism. As we're going over our definitions, egoism argues that an action is morally right when it promotes the individual's own interest, so they solely focus on the interest for themselves. For utilitarianism, this says the action is right when it maximizes the overall happiness for the well-being of others, the organization, and the consumers. Now, these two ethicals have two different ideas about how their decisions are made along with the outcomes. There is no right or wrong on how you want to go about these theories because they are both used in today's society and everyday business life. Now, like we explained, egoism really just focuses on itself and what is best for them. This benefits the individual. When you think of a business owner and you have a business, you're probably only thinking of the outcome, of the profit that helps benefit yourself. Now, if you go about this theory as utilitarianism, you are not only thinking of yourself, but you may take a bite or two in some of the costs, although you are making a profit, because you really want to take care of others along with the organization. But this doesn't necessarily mean that you're not making as much as a profit either. The benefits are for the majority of others. For the similarities, both of these theories have important similarities because they are both consequentialist, which this means that they evaluate morality based on the outcomes of their actions. So they are both well thought out, they are applied in everyday business, and again, there is no right or wrong on how you like to go about your business in using either of these theories. So let's talk about an example between egoism and utilitarianism. So let's talk about a manufacturing that is producing chemical waste. And this factory is a waste disposal. So for egoism, let's say, hey, the easier way to dumping this waste is in a nearby river. However, it is illegal, but it saves money. So this may save interest for the company. This may be a quicker move for the company for them to be able to dispose this rather quickly. However, it is illegal. So you could face serious consequences in the long run, such as getting sued or product waste can cause health issues in the long run from rivers that can flow into other places, or if it comes in contact with humans as well too. That can produce a lot of issues in the long run when that time comes. Now for utilitarianism, and we have a factory waste disposal, let's say that, of course, they're going to properly dispose this. Now, it may take longer, it may take more money. However, you do not have to worry about being sued in the long run. You're doing things morally. You're having value to this, and you're thinking about the waste and not hurting others, and you're not just thinking about the profit of this business as well either. You're looking out for anything bad that could happen, such as health issues as well. So that is a great example that I wanted to share with between egoism and utilitarianism. Now, the verses I wanted to share is Philippians chapter 2, verse 4. Not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others. Now, this encourages selflessness and the consideration of others. And that really goes along with utilitarianism. And I chose to go that way if I ever had a business, because I want to be sure that others feel happy along with consumers and customers and such in that nature, because I believe that when you look out for others and not just yourself, but you will flourish. And I also wanted to share Matthew chapter 22, verses 39. Love your neighbor as yourself. And I believe this is the importance, is what they're sharing, is to love others as yourself. So I would want to treat others fairly, along with my customers feeling that as well too, because I would want to morally do what is right. And these are the cited resources that I use from Kafriki with our business book, along with the 2 videos that were shared for this week.